Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen, in this evening edition of this 22nd of July, 2017. One of the major themes is make. And the multi-creationalistical aspect of the wonderful fruition, which I want to point out, is talent combined. Not saying that talent is not a good thing, but it's a very good thing. It's a very positive motion, and that's what we're actually getting into. Not only the combination of the talent and the skill form, but the art form. And now that's going to combine into thought forms, and those thought forms combine into a manifested artwork, manifested thought form of creationalistical aspect, which is in a transcendental measure of formation of that which is already in the unlimited potential of what is the freedom plus love, which is just the inverse of the equation, which is imagination plus truth to the power of light, which technically is also reciprocal of the sum of freedom plus love. And ultimately, it's a very fantastical solution, very positive, which is a very exciting and tremendous motion towards evolution and human advancement on, and ultimately all life advancement. What's very spectacular is here's one of the major things which is really fantastic is not only the niches but the understanding of how the environments and the habitats kind of coexist, and they all morph, and at the same time they're all very united. So what's very interesting, which is what I've helped to, I guess, ignite or explain or discover is something. Okay, here's a very fantastical fact of a foundation for example, roots for growth and paradise. An aspect of paradise. And what I mean by aspect, I mean, let's take a look at this habitat for the woods. So now, or a simple forest. So trees, grass, maybe some larger grass, few shrubs, yellow flowers, white flowers, blue flowers, very small, grass layered. Foundation, of course, one with the tree, and the tree drops tons and tons of, ultimately, yes, tons of leaves, because the tree knows that it dropped tons of leaves because those leaves are the foundation of what made those trees that are there. But those trees knew about those leaves from that tree that they came from before those trees became the grass, for example, that is the grass that is the trees. Very simple, but it's at the same time very fantastic, because what you witness, of course, not only the connection, but you see a very transcendental, beautiful oneness and intact nature with all of, which is still, of course, very accelerated with the very key advancements, not only spiritually, but and which is like a sort of evolutionary and also revolutionary, as in positive. Like, this is a grand golden age transition, but the beautiful imagination aspect of what is transforming into a co-creative and a bio-creative and a biochemistry and a bioluminescent and a superluminescent force. And so that's what's very exciting, because we are not only going to have, but we do have superluminescent forces, forces and beings and states and dimensions, which of course we can dimensionally travel in through daily, because that's part of the spiritual enlightenment of consciousness, especially with one of the most basic root forms, which is immortality, which is, of course, in everything, all beings. Other thing is fantastical nature of the beautiful fruition that is the Artform and consciousness and concrete. I mean concrete as in solid, as in like, as in making, as in, yeah, actually the word M-A-K-E. Fruition of the I was talking about the bioluminescence and bioluminescence, but ultimately, when it breaks down, I want to, not only is the tree and the grass, but in that tree-grass spectrum, there's also the insects, and there's multiple insects, multiple different species of bugs, so flies and gnats and all those variations of those, which transiting constantly, super highways between every stem tree, and then of course all the insects that are on the ground transiting constantly. And then of course there's the other highways, which actually has there, which I mean in a positive way. And when you understand this, it's a kind of crystalline, as in a crystallization clarity for the, which is totally normal and totally fine. It's as in, it's like a sort of, it's like breathing, for example. So that's a kind of good synonym and analogy, but I'm going to explain and express a little bit more, and also therefore unity is one of the very cool things about imagination as well. So bats with the insects and their superhighways also have their superhighways with their feedback loops. And then that's just one type of frequency of sound or frequency of chorus. So that's an amazing, miraculous thing about one, about the analogy of and also about the future, and how do you ultimately continue to be the illumination and the enlightenment factor. Enlightening, as I continue to lead, and I continue to do this incredible, brilliant, ultra fantastic manifestation. And so this is, of course, one of the amazing fruitions of a type of unlimited potential, and it's a very fantastical, beautiful nature. This is your host, Christopher Curtis Bowen, of this evening edition of the results, which is also reciprocable. It's freedom plus love, and then imagination times truth to the power of limitlessness. Equals freedom plus love. Love you all. This is your host on this evening edition.